Okay, well, what we're working on today is a T444e, and we're doing a fan clutch. Now, what's happening is this thing is running, it drives great, and all of a sudden it gets hot, and the fan clutch, it's spinning, but it's not spinning as much as it should. It should sound like a jet engine turning. So this isn't locking up. So what we need to do, you can see how easy that is to move, and it should be a little stiffer than that. We need to get the nut off of there, and the problem is I can't get the nut off. Every time I try to turn it, it just goes and it would turn with the engine. So I took the two compressor belts off for the air conditioning. So those are out of the way. Now I can get onto this nut down here with my big giant wrench. Okay, now what I'm going to do, now what I did is I made a fancy tool to attach to that pulley out of the support bracket that goes in here to hold the hood. Now I'll show you that when I'm all done if this works. Now, let me get my wrench. Where did I put that? Come up here in the bus. My 2-foot wrench. Let's see if this is going to work. So now I have this sucker and I'm going to get on that. And the way I had this set up, this bar is now going to hit into that and not be able to turn, so the engine is now locked. So let's see if this works. So it worked. Can't believe we actually got that nut to spin. Now, I don't know if you can tell, now you can see that turning. So this is locked, that's turning. Oh, that's perfect. So now I can get this out of there, because as I tighten it up, the engine itself, maybe we'll leave that on there until we get this all done. Wow, what a relief. So that was a simple trick. Let me show you what that looks like when I get that off of there. Well, this worked. I have the new fan clutch in, was able to get it tight. Now let me show you how I did this and what it is. So if you look at this, as I pull this out, that is the fancy thing I notched into this. It's relatively simple. Mark the center lines of the bolts, and these bolts are the pulley bolts. So they go through and then into the pulley. Now, this back one these are the originals. I did get one that's a little longer for the other side. So I was able to get into the meat of it, and this one just held it in place, and that kept this pulley from turning while I was able to do that. So now that part is done. So this is the magic piece, and the coolest part of this is now that this is done, this is going to go back in here, and it's always going to be on the bus for whenever I need it. I'm going to paint that so it doesn't rust up. But then I always have it should I ever need it again. And hey, look at that, how slick. I didn't have to go buy that tool or rent one, and I got this piece changed. So hopefully that solves our problem. So if that helped you, one little stupid trick, come on, like and subscribe. It helps every little bit.